Huge mistake. There were 6 rounds in a row that we saw get put together from Vicious after that happens. They get the first ban. They banned Glaz last time around, and they'll do the same this time as well.
Yeah, so here's HypeR. You have to decide, do we ban the Lion? Do we ban the Blackbeard? You gotta think that Nog is looking to secure the Blackbeard the instant it's available, and yes, there you go.
That's a no. That's a
no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer there, you know. That's going to be it, Chief. So easily take him off the board. You're now going to put Nog onto another operator, and whether you're going to have him on a hard breacher or not, HypeR will also ban Mira. Unsurprising there, as she typically doesn't habit one of those insta-bans.
Yeah, and now it's all Maestro, Echo, Valkyrie, as all 3 operators are quite usual bans on this map. Possible that'll be the Echo here. You know, Vicious did have a bit of problems against the Maestro, so it is definitely a possibility. But otherwise, they're standard bans. There's nothing out of the ordinary. No, I say that. Pulse is going to get banned. What do I know? So now, plays with a Pulse downstairs on the ground floor and in the server room especially, not going to be available.
I mean, I'm trying to think back. I feel like we see Pulse banned on Border actually a healthy number of times because of how strong he can be, especially against certain teams that run him quite a bit. Evil Geniuses, he gets banned an awful lot because of that, because they'll usually stick Canadian on him and put him down in server, and then he's very powerful playing down there. Or even having him be kept upstairs. I mean, there's lots of opportunities for a Pulse to run wild here, so that's something to keep mind of. Vicious starting on defense, they're going to go upstairs to that armory, lockers, and archives style of site. And, well, that's not much of a surprise, in all honesty. We'll be able to see if the break that we just had is able to knock off Vicious's strides that they've made over the last map. They won 6 rounds in a row, down 2-0, and they came back, roared back in excellent fashion. And a big part of that, yeah, was Holiday Nog's ability to commandeer a lot of those rounds with the Blackbeard, but then he played quite well as Smoke as well. I mean, he was still able to rack up a fair amount of kills on defense, even though he wasn't the person that was tasked with it. He was usually playing quite safely in sight, allowing the roamers to do the rest of the work. So what is he going to be able to accomplish this time around? Well, there's lots of anchor play coming out from Vicious. Echo remains unbanned, and then of course you got the Maestro and the Smoke there to lock things down with the dual roamer combo. As for HypeR's side of the equation, IQ is pretty standard. That's very sensible to see. And as for the rest, interesting that they're only going to bring a Hibana and not run with both hard breachers or even bother to bring a Thermite in the first place. HypeR has really foregone the Thermite pick over the last little while too.
Yeah, and it's an odd choice given the fact that we're probably going to be seeing Armory in the very first site. If you're on the defense, it's usually your first pick. Oh, K2, nice. That's Nog out of play. That's a long distance snipe there against the Smoke. So
that had to be a lucky fire through the door and happened to catch.
It's all calculated there, Parker.
I mean, here's the thing with this game. It is a one-shot kill to a head. So you shoot somebody in the head, they're insta-dead. It doesn't matter how long this range is. If you're blind firing through a wall, oh man, he's going to hit the drop hatch. Oh, Nikki gets very close to securing one. He and Habibi are both down, and everybody going for broke for the time being. Extra will at least find Rich, and well, they're going to have to bring the 2 members of HypeR back to half HP. Habibi picked up first. Nikki will be not far behind. Vicious, now with Oasis getting picked up. These are both teams losing an awful lot. Pixel victorious over Nikki, and man, they are coming to blows 1 second in as Pixel will have to run off, lick his wounds and offices, and oh man, what a rush.
It's only been a minute or so, and already there's a ton of damage being done. He spots the drone being thrown out, and the explosive blows up in Strange's face right there, as at least 1 kill will get secured. A 2v3 advantage for HypeR, but they have no hard breach to get in here, and Oasis is set in Fountain right behind the shield. An easy frag to take down Habibi, and it's a 2v2 now. That's a zoinks right there, Parker, but Extra playing from the back. The Jaeger's head is going to get spotted, but K2 can't find the timing on him. He's getting shocked from the back. Can't find the yokai. It's up there, but the shots are not really hitting.
It's on the other side of the railing.
Yeah.
That's why he can't pick it up. It's on the other side of the banister.
So Extra's just going to be spraying in as he gets shot down by LoJax, and all up to K2 in the 2v1. We'll have to walk right in as Oasis will immediately try to reset against this here. Moves in, but Oasis is ready. From Archives, he'll find the shot and walk right into the Armory. K2 is down, and first round for Vicious is it started up pretty fast here. This is kicking it into high gear from round 1.
That's 7 rounds in a row for Vicious. Worked out really, really well, though most of the action happened in,
on the balcony, really? Like,
pretty quick.
All right, we'll see how the picks will go for this round. As again, Vicious are on the defense. We'll see if they can get their 8th round on the board in a row. It seems like HypeR are going to go for a very similar setup. Now, the thing is, the Bandit was the big deal in that round early on, allowing for quick picks, allowing for an extra kill, and a lot of damage to be done to his opponents. Unfortunately, was not able to capitalize and get the kills on the 2 down players. So maybe the change for the Buck, or the play of the Buck this time, will be a bit more different in that they're going to be droning in to set up for grenades, not just for them to open up the side of the wall, or if they will, it'll be more of a just mouse drone hole, basically, to walk the drone in and get some info off of it. Obviously, with the first round being a victory on the Armory and Archives, this time it'll be played, or the site will be played down in Ventilation and Workshop. But, as usual, you want to hold the bottom floor, you have to have good control of the top one, at least to delay your opponents. And Clash is going to be the operator played here by Vicious, our first one of the night.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that we haven't really seen a lot of Clash. I think that really speaks to the fact that a lot of people hold an opinion that Clash is very strong, and I think maybe a bit too strong in a lot of circumstances.
I kind of agree.
And I would agree with some of the arguments in regards to the way that teams use her, which is that if you use her in a mobile information gather role, if you use her as a roamer, it's not really going to work out the way that you anticipate. A lot of teams will keep her very protected, very sheltered, so that in the final 30 to 40 seconds, you don't have a lot of opportunity to take care of her gadget-wise. It's very difficult to outright frag her, and if the rest of her team is still alive, then that backup is very important to do a lot of work to make sure that everybody gets shut down. And LoJax eliminating Nikki right off the hop, so long to the Zofia. This has just been a real interesting matchup between these two teams as aggression seems to know no bounds.
Yeah, and of course taking the Zofia off the board means one of the big counters to Clash has been removed. You can still throw grenades at her if you're the Buck, but there's huge explosive resistance on the Clash, and here LoJax will find the second one. Strage will get shot down. The one hard breacher taken down again, and somehow we turn to a similar position as the previous round. The Clash standing right in front here and making sure they can delay things as much as possible here. Vicious picks is down on the floor, or at least still with 1 health, and Rich will find the kill on K2, just pulling out the SMG at the last second. Habibi will come in and take him out, but that's a lot of manpower lost, and the site is untouched because you're attacking into Workshop, and usually want to have a thermite for this. It'll make things a lot simpler for you. Diffuser is on the opposite end here by the armory wall, and you need to go and pick it up, but they're unsure of enemy positions, and indeed, it is all clear and ready to go, so they're going to go pick up the diffuser. They have to watch any open holes, and Extra checking in, he'll find the head of Pixel and take him out by server.
There's an opportunity there that Pixel might have been holding a C4, the only member of the team that would have come equipped with it from Vicious's side of things, and that could have been really important to keep that diffuser out of the hands of HypeR, but Habibi will be able to fetch it quite well. Sees the smoke from below, tussles with Nog, and Habibi just can't land all the shots need be. It's just an absolute clown fiesta as they both miss most of their shots, unloading all of his ammo as Habibi pulls out the pistol in an act of desperation. But Extra getting a little too close to that hatch, feet being presented to Vicious, and they'll be able able to do a lot of damage. And both one shot, as commonly referred to as, Habibi will fall, and it's just extra, wades through the barbed wire and sees the main stairs, but knows that he's got 3 to deal with. Nog will get reset, so opportunity for Vicious to give themselves an HP advantage even greater than they have now. LoJax sitting very low on HP, but actually Nog just sitting and waiting, it would appear. Extra will now drop the hatch, and there's LoJax there to pick up yet another kill, and that's technically 9 rounds in a row. Do our best Edward Rooney impression from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. 9 times we've seen Vicious be able to win a round now
I've never watched that.
That's a shame. It's a great piece and a cornerstone of American culture, I'm sure. Great comedy. I think you'd enjoy it very much. But 9 rounds from Vicious there.
All right.
Or 8 rounds, my apologies.
Not
9 yet. I got ahead of myself in terms of numbers.
2, 6 from before.
I can't.
6 plus 2.
They need to win this next one just so I can make the joke again. I'm nothing without humor.
Well, even then.
And maybe a nice beard.
Yeah, okay.
I'll give you that. You give me that? Okay, good.
Okay. I'm a fair man. I'm a fair man there, Parker Mackay.
I mean, this is a good opportunity going to customs here. It's a much more difficult site for them to hold without Amira. They'll 6-pick onto a Clash, who I think they used the Clash quite well there, and I think a big part of it was the fact that, yeah, as we noted, the utility was drained earlier on, and then it was very difficult to deal with the Clash. The only benefit that they had against the Clash last time was that I think it was Rich pulled out his gun really early and then just decided to not put the shield back on and just go for frags. He got K2, but I think he got a little bit greedy after that.
Here's the thing with the Clash, though. If you're running the SMG, especially if you're playing online, this is something that doesn't factor too much in offline play. You can quick switch to the SMG in a way where your opponents can barely even see you having it out. Like the time between the shield and the pull out of the SMG is so tiny in online play, with ping factoring into the equation, that you can very much one-tap your opponents just by instantly switching and quick firing, because there's no delay between removing the shield and pulling out the SMG and firing the very first bullet. The delay is so tiny, you can't even notice it. And a lot of times you'll see that being used very effectively by some tough-to-deal-with Clash players, and it is very frustrating to play against them, not only because of the fact that it's a shield on defense, but also because, oh, there you go, LoJax will find one on K2. It's got to be pretty frustrating to play against regardless. At least Strage is nearby, but he's not able to do much against it just yet, as LoJax will go back up the central stairs and hold on to the main hallway.
Getting us very close to like what I said, what I need this 9 times joke that I would make. I'll show you a clip later.
Okay.
But once again, undeterred up top. LoJax is up there with Oasis. We've actually seen a lot of teams employ Frost when looking on this site, especially if you look at a team such as SK. And there have been a couple teams, if I remember correctly, from European and Latin American regions who have done similar things, because it forces you to have to either take the fight with the operator that's going to be waiting for you to vault through the window, or the Frost trap below. And it'd be very difficult to do because you don't really have the destructive capabilities in order to take care of the mats at all. So time just slowly working away here, as it's very difficult for HypeR to be able to clear top down in this instance. They've done a great job of getting up towards the site. They'll confront the castle barricades, but Nog is there just prepped and waiting. And there you go. A Candela will go off, and Habibi so close to being able to get that castle barricade open. And, well, I mean, he's going to use yet another Candela, as it's going to keep the smoke at bay. And it's just not going to deal with Nog at all. He's not going to have to deal with it at all. He just stays around the corner. And that's 2 Candelas now that really did nothing other than possibly prevent a peek.
Yeah, and if he had timed it for 3 seconds, maybe it would have been more effective, but he'll just walk in and actually down Nog as he just opens fire. 32 rounds still left in the magazine as Rich can't control the burst there of the SMG. Habibi will get the kill on Rich, as it is all up to Pixel. Now, does he have any explosive to play with? Yes, he does. Nitro Cell is in hand, but he's trying to find angle on Habibi in the back as he moves right past him. He'll find the kill, take him out, but there's still one more left. He's unsure of where the diffuser is planted, and indeed it is not in the supply room. It's around B. Does he have the information? As Strage is just dealing with it himself by having a drone out. He knows he'll have to peek against His opponent along the outside. That diffuser is perfectly planted for the Thermite, but the Bandit will walk right outside to try and contest, and he'll get the shots. The Thermite is down. Go in for the diffuser, and Pixel is going to save the round as Vicious will take round number 9.
9 times. 9 times. Excellent play from Pixel there. What a performance. The Ying, full health, gave her position away, pre-fired a little too early, right call to try to get the shots off, missed the Bandit. I don't think was expecting Pixel to try to get that close that quickly, playing a more hesitative style of play at the bottom of the main stairs, and then just reading off on the Thermite. I don't know if the Thermite of Strage was expecting the push out so hard, but I mean, Strage also had 1 shot to down, and that was all it took. And you saw the shot from the MP7 onto his back. Overall, Pixel saving that round, as it was a very fast pace that got set from HypeR. They broke open the castle barricade, Candela's went off, they hit the Lion, they literally just hit the gas pedal and jumped right in, and Habibi in particular got 2, maybe 3 kills within a very, very quick amount of time, shredded the opposition, got the plant down. It was very, very close, and the best round that we've seen HypeR put together since, I think, the very first map.
And I have to say, the Thermite there, he was busy on his drone. Unfortunately, the Bandit had not spotted the drone until he pressed space and went for the jump. If he did not do that, then he could have had a teammate just watching it, and he'd just peek against it. Because then, not only can you have the information on is the Bandit defusing or not, but also you just stand behind the pillar and wait until the Bandit walks out, and you know where his position is because your teammates are either spotting or calling things out. So, few mistakes in the even in the final seconds of the round, but I've been seeing this happen very, very often on Customs defense, is that it comes down a lot of times to a 1v1 clutch or one player really playing it well to bring it back, and oftentimes it is the Bandit. So make with that as you will, I guess, but now Vicious is back up to Armory, and they're going to bring the Echo. Yet again, K2 looking for a peek on the Smoke of Nog, as we saw him do in the very first round. This time, won't be lucky with that, as he goes in bullet by bullet and won't connect. There you go. That's a long angle.
I'm really wondering what HypeR can do to possibly get back into this game, because they have put nothing on the board now over, you know, on 11 rounds. They've got 2. It's been really slow going, and I mean, they've been losing their fights as well. You know, you've seen here that Vicious have been landing their shots, and Vicious just seem emboldened by it, getting very creative in the way that they're aggressively peaking and constantly taking the fights to HypeR. I think what they read was, by allowing HypeR to be really aggressive and play their game, it was really hurting Vicious overall. But Vicious realized at some point, hey, wait a minute, we're the team that has played together more often. We're the team that have more experience playing this at a PC level. We're the team that should be able to bully you across the map. And I think they've really embraced that position, and they've been doing quite well. Habibi and Rich in a shootout inside a fountain, as I say this, with both of them trying to land shots and neither of them being able to do so. A frag grenade should be able to get the Echo, and there you go. Blows up the deployable shield, downs the Echo at the same time, and they'll secure the kill quite well on Rich. Pixel is there to refrag, though, and, well, so is Nog. He'll pick up one on the Strage and dive back in to pick up Pixel, as this action has just come swift and violently so far as we're halfway through this round.
And now Diffuser's on the floor. Nobody was there to use the soft wall on the side of Archives to their advantage and get the pick on their opponents. As you see, it is. There'll be a drop down as LoJax will get one. And the Thatcher, oh no, Nikki will get the kill with the Claymore. It'll save his teammate here extra.
There's always a Claymore there. There's always a Claymore there.
100%. And that's why usually you'll see the player bolting out is someone that has an impact just to take it out. But no, oh no, Extra's just standing right in the middle of the balcony, gets shot from the side. Now the Zofia spotted, they know where she's at. Right on the ventilation, the shotgun somehow does not connect, but Pixel will, as Nikki will go down, and Vicious yet again, that's a 4-0 up. Make it a 10 there.
They'll hit double digits now in a row. And I mean, Border is not a map that I notice typically tends to be more defender-attacker favored. It's very much...
kind of a 50-50.
It's a very 50-50. I think that Oregon is very similar too, where, you know, you've got ample opportunity for attackers to be able to build a lineup that can quite well punish the defense. You've also got defender lineups that can stifle all of your offense. On that particular round, every single bit of interaction happened around office. They couldn't get the office wall open. They struggled to be able to push inside a fountain. That's where the fights happened. And basically the hill upon which Vicious tried to die was inside of archives, and they did so quite well. You know, they didn't need to really throw bodies at the problem until LoJax literally flew out the window and ended up blowing up on the Claymore. But, I mean, that's a call you can make. You're up. It's a 4v2. You can go for broke at that point. You know, you got somebody who is not a high priority operator who doesn't need to stay till the very end, and you can rely on having a smoke and a maestro still available for you if it goes south, which it did. So, ultimately, you look at this scoreline here, and man, I mean, there's a fair amount of kills for HypeR on the board over 4 rounds, but not a lot to show for, and they just have not been able to get it going after the first bit of action happens. Usually after the first couple kills, it's Vicious 100% in the driver's seat. The only round that came really, really close was on Customs. That was it. Outside of that, it's been all Vicious all the way down now on 2 sites. And the good thing for Vicious is that they can go back to Ventilation Workshop, which they looked to be quite confident on last time around, and try to pull off a sweep here on defense.
I think it's the logo. That's just it. That skull, it very much has its effect on HypeR.
That's what you think it is,
Exactly what it is. Perfect analysis here, by the way. Yep. I can already see the Reddit posts. Best analyst R6 EU ever. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Habibi will walk in to Tellers in the main lobby, trying to clear things out. As of course, are they just going to rush it?
This is just going to be a bull rush here. That's exactly what it is. They're inside of the site. Nog is not even aware, and he is going to hit the deck. But it's going to get bounced off. Oasis is there to be able to trade it out. Pixel gets one as well. And it looks like this rush, this go for broke strat of HypeR, it's not really going anywhere for the time being. They'll lose their Lion as well as their Ashe, 2 of their strongest rush operators.
If anything, it is going for broke at this point. It's not working out too well. More damage done to HypeR's. Bandit is trying to contest here. Pixel, this will have to deal with the castle on the opposite end by the Customs. There's soft walls everywhere around the workshop. Oasis still sitting back behind the beepers. He's going to get tagged and taken down. There you go. Strage coming in from the back to turn it into a 3v3, but there's still the clash available. And where is Richie Rich? There you go. He's playing inside a workshop. So the wall has been opened, but at least they can rely on Rich on holding one side of this. So he can give information as well. They'll grab onto Nikki, and that's now the Zofia eliminated. Strage shot a 1v1 is Pixel. Again, he'll find the Pixel shot and tick down Strage. All up to the Thatcher as he takes a bit more damage. He'll find the angle and the shot. It's half health though. Pixel has gone down, but all the Clash has to do is slow him down, and LoJax should be able to clean him up very easily here yet again. What can you do against the shield? You can EMP it so you're not slowed down, but just back off and hold it back on again. There you go. Rich, so frustrating to deal with that Clash solo and trying to bait in the Thatcher to 1v1 using the Jaeger, and there you go. Rich with the quick switch on to the SMG. Will find the kill on Extra and take him out. 5-0 here for Vicious. And it's now 11.
Very shrewd play there by the Clash as well, to turn the way that the shield would get knocked away from, so that when you quick switch, it gives you a much better opportunity to land the shots need be. And overall, this is just all Vicious really baring their teeth this time, and HypeR have not been able to get anything going. They will get the benefit, though, of a side switch, and they'll go on to defense here. They'll go down, they'll go straight for Customs, which is an interesting strategy. Would have assumed that possibly going with Armory would make the most sense, as it tends to be the most defendable site and the most comfortable site for most teams, but maybe there's something that HypeR knows that we don't. Vicious right now sitting 1 round away from squaring up against Mouse Sports next week. An interesting play here for them. As for what we're going to see from Vicious, well, Nog is going to be running with the Canadian operator of Buck. We're going to see a Lion come out as well, as he remains unbanned. Really not used all that effectively by HypeR. Definitely been a team where Vicious, or definitely been a situation where Vicious as a team has done a much better job with the Lion to be able to get the most out of it.
I'm unsure of this play from HypeR to go for customs first. Vicious half the buck. Perfect operator to have, so you can just open up the top of detention, or jail, however you may call it. Chuck in grenades, take out any bandit batteries that are set up there, anybody that is in detention as well. You have the thermite, opens up the wall. That's one part of your attack that's already done. Take control of CCTV. You have the Zofia as well to deal. Is that what? Okay. Okay. That's an oddity. To have to run out with the Maestro and put it right on the balcony with the Evil Eye.
I mean, we've seen that. We've actually seen that before, quite a fair bit. To be, to be totally fair. I don't think that's that weird. I mean, it's a question of whether the utility is worth it, because a lot of teams will be able to deal with that quite effectively. A frag grenade, anything. There's next to nothing to stop a team from destroying that Evil Eye.
And that's the thing. That's why I find it a bit questionable in that situation.
It is an odd choice. I mean, it's not uncommon to see, but it's always something that I don't know how much you get out of it, right?
No. Well, in the meantime, it's the buck that opens up the side as the smoke is detected for just a second, as Habibi is going to be able to fall back. Rich in the archives is Nog right next to him trying to build the crossfire here. He'll switch over the lifeline, but it's Nikki to find the very first one. And so once again, we'll see HypeR with the advantage early on in the round. Just disoriented by the yokai for just a second.
So they'll just all sit in place and just wait here. And I mean, you lose Rich, which is not great. You've still got Pixel running on that Lion, who, after having a pretty bad start as the Capitao, really picked things up in that second half of Oregon playing on the mute, and now has done so well playing on defense here. First kill for Vicious is going to come out to Oasis, doubles up on it with the C75. Manages to find both the Maestro as well as the Jaeger. Those are two prime opportunity picks for Vicious to try and tip the scales back in their favor.
Habibi watching the angle here onto the main stairs. Nobody picking up just yet by Beepers. Will chuck in a remote gas canister and just fall back as utility has been used there. The Echo will try to 1v1 against the CZ75 of Oasis as he'll find the frag. K2 taken down. Almost dropped there. The smoke somehow, his shot's not connecting. And speaking of not connecting, that'll be Habibi, as Nog and Pixel will get the last two kills, and that'll be it. 6-0 victory for Vicious on map number 3. That's it's a pretty darn interesting matchup in map 3 especially, but at least we know our victors and we know who's going to face off against Mousesports.
What an interesting game. What an interesting game. What an interesting series that was in particular. Just puzzling. So puzzling. Honestly, Vicious looked quite bad on a number of rounds on Clubhouse. Just really not where they needed to be as a team. HypeR was able to just take advantage of every single mistake